here at Kennedy Space Center, stopping by the visitor center on my way to work. This is going to be my last real day as a KSC intern, so figured I might as well drop by the visitor center on the last day to work here, give you guys a nice view around, talk about a couple hands before I go in, and it's gonna be a great day. Alrighty, first hand we're going to get into here, I'll look down at 6-8 of spades on the button. There's 4 limpers to me, so I don't really want to breeze over 4 limpers with 6-8 of spades, so I just limp behind, play this hand in position on the button, and the big blind also checks. So we're going 6 ways to a flop, which comes ace 7-9 with 1 spade. Feeling pretty good, got an open ender in position, so definitely going to be continuing a lot of bets here. There's an early position bet on the flop of $20. I make the call and the big blind makes the call. 3 ways to a turn, which is a pretty good card. It's the king of spades, so I've got an open ender and the flush draw, so feeling pretty good. The early position player continues again for 35, pretty small bet relative to his first bet in the pot, so I make the call again and the big blind folds. So to a river, pretty awesome river, is the ace of spades. So although the board pairs with the ace, we now have the flush. So the early position player checks, and definitely gonna go for some value here. We bet $100, kind of trying to polarize the bet here. And the early position player thinks about it and eventually makes the call. And they turn over ace 3 offsuit for top trips. So we take a nice healthy first pot down here. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty confident after our first hand. We look down on the button and orbit later at king 9 suited. So we also got some limpers to us, and again, it's one of those ones where I don't really feel super confident raising it up, so I limp behind. This is also a straddled pot, so the straddler checks, and we're going 5 ways to a flop, which comes king 7-8. So we got a top pair. It checks all the way to me, and so I go for some thin value here. I bet 35. We get 2 callers, including the straddler, which is important in this hand. The turn is an offsuit 3, doesn't really change much. However, the straddler decides that, you know, maybe the 3 helped him, and he donk leads the turn for 50, which is really confusing. So we make the call for 50 off to a river, which completely bricks out, and we all check. However, I thought it bricked out, but it didn't. The river is a 6. And the straddler turns over king 6, so we're at 2 pairs. So that was kind of annoying, but we'll get back into it here. Next interesting hand, we look down at ace king offsuit and the hijack. There is a middle position limp, and we go to 25 over the limp. The small blind, which was the under the gun straddler from last hand, decides to cold call. You know, I feel like this is pretty weak generally, so I'm kind of happy to have him in the hand. And in the middle position also makes the call. So 3 ways to a flop, which comes ace queen 8. Feeling pretty good. Don't expect to be beat on this board a lot. They both check to me. I bet 55, trying to just get some value. They both make the call. Off to a turn, which comes a 3. So feeling pretty good about the run out so far. I size up on the turn here, go to a tune of 150. And to my surprise, they both still call. So now, you know, I gotta at least be afraid of one of them maybe. However, the river is another brick, so that's good. However, I'm still a little concerned that I might be getting trapped by a 2 pair here, or something of that nature, a really odd 2 pair, or maybe another weird rivered 2 pair, but they both check to me. And I decided to just check this one back, take my showdown value with top. The small blind shows an ace, so I only have to assume ace jack or ace 10. And we are good, so definitely taking a nice healthy pot down there with our top showdown value. So feeling pretty good about this session still. Next small little hand we look down at king queen offsuit in the cutoff. 2 limpers to us, we're gonna be raising this one up here. We go to $30. They both make the call. So going 3 ways to a flop, which comes pretty nice. Comes queen, queen, 8. Just flop, you know, big trips. nothing to it. They both checked to us, and we're gonna try to build this pot here. Probably bet a little bit too big on this flop. We bet $50, another pot of 90, and they both fold. So probably could have bet a little bit smaller there, but regardless, we take another nice healthy little pot down. So feeling pretty good about the session. Anyone since Deja Vu? We look down at the small blind this time with ace 10 suited. Deja Vu's coming. There's 3 limps to us. We raise it up big here. We raised to 40. Try to discourage the limpers from calling, but does that ever really work in a cash game? All the limpers call. We go 4 ways to a flop. Deja Vu comes queen, queen 3. Queens are rolling on the board for us today. Being first to act, I think, this is a pretty good c-bet spot with an air ball with ace high. And so we really go for it here. We bet $100. And wouldn't you know, Deja Vu, all the limpers fold. So just taking in these little pots, that's how it goes sometimes. But we're doing pretty well in this session so far. Just tried to sit on the metal benches over there, and I didn't realize the wood ones over here, because those metal benches are wet from the condensation. So got my butt a little wet, got into a sticky situation, kind of like this hand. We look down at pocket 10s facing an early position open to 20. So we're gonna be 3-betting here to isolate with pocket 10s. We make it 65. That player calls, and we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes ace 3-9. So, there's always gonna be an overcard when you've got the middle to high pocket pairs, but that's how it is. That player checks to us, and I don't really think there's a real reason to c-bet here. I mean, we could rep the ace, but I've played with this player before, and he's gonna have a lot more aces here than us. So we check behind. The turn is a king. That player decides to bet $75, and I really debated just folding to this bet, but ultimately I decided to put in the call just so that we're not super exploitable. Maybe there's some good rivers that we could try to bluff, like if there's another king or another ace, maybe we can use those as some bluff candidates, but we'll see. The river is a total brick for us, doesn't change the board at all. That player checks again, which is really odd, all things considered. I think that he should go for a lot of value with an ace, a dry ace and a dry king being out there with no flush or straight draws on the board, but I decided to check back, just take my pocket 10s to showdown, and that player turns over ace 3 suited for the flop to 2 pair. So no way I was gonna get a bluff through there, so I think my assessment of the situation was okay. So our final hand of note, I'm gonna do again on the benches here, because taking a little break from winning this session. This is a spoiler alert, we do end up losing this one and ending the session a little under our max. But we look down at pocket jacks. Another poker horror story started with jacks. We are going to be raising it up here over 2 limpers to $30. Of course they both call, because all the limpers have been calling all the bets on this table. Flop comes 6-8-3, so kind of connected. There's a flush draw out there, there's a straight draw out there, and so we're gonna try to deny some equity here. We bet $60 into these 2 players. There's 1 caller and 1 folds. So off to a turn, probably one of the worst turns in the entire deck. It is the queen that brings the flush draw in and gives an overcard to the board. So not looking to bet this card a lot of the time. So we check, and our opponent bets 125 on this queen. So not feeling super great about this position. I don't really feel like there's a lot of cards on the river that are going to give me a good feeling. Even though I hit a jack, the flush is still there. So I decided to let this one go, unfortunately. And our opponent is nice enough to show us that he floated the flop with ace queen. So make the kind of tight fold maybe there, but worked out. And still finishing this session really strong, almost 100 bigs up. So that's going to do it for this session. There for about 4 hours, into the game for $500, out of the game for $980. Pretty much 100 bigs if you ask me. So definitely feeling pretty good. We've been doing pretty well on the vlogs lately. Not too many big losses to report yet, so hoping that we can just keep this heater alive. So anyway, I'm gonna walk around the visitor center for a couple minutes here before going into the office. But yeah, good session. Heading into the office now, but I actually got permission from my supervisor to film some things inside the office. So hopefully I'll be able to bring you guys some pretty cool shots. Just got off my shift not too long ago. Decided to drive around a little bit to give you guys a couple of the marvels of NASA here. Let me show you this. This is the VAB, the Vehicle Assembly Building. And oh my goodness, look at this just massive building, standing 520 feet tall. This is the building that they use to assemble a lot of their rockets. And I mean, I wish this video truly captures the absolute size of this building. I wish I could go inside to give you guys a better look, but unfortunately due to COVID they're restricting the access to the inside of the building. But if you can get a tour to come out here, you absolutely need to. This is just absolutely incredible. One of the few true marvels of the world. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. I'm about to head home. Really happy that I got to share with you a little bit of what I do and what I enjoy. You know, took a little walk around the Space Center too. Tried to get those steps in, tried to get a little bit of exercise because, you know, after all, getting outside is one of the most important things you can do. Keep your body healthy, keep your mind healthy. This is Runner Poker. Have a good one.